Alrighty everyone, welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. They did a fantastic job. I think that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni really knocked it out of the park to really begin things off with the first episode. Given that it was a short one, it really was very well paced and very well in line with what they are doing with the third season overall. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that, of course, we have a lot of things happening at the same exact time between Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau was able to really tease and hint more about the future of the franchise and where it's going, especially for The Mandalorian and what it means for the character of Luke Skywalker, djarin, grogu, and more. So let's tap into all of this. Now, we already know that there is a lot of stuff to go over in Episode 1 of Mando Season 3, but separate from that, Jon Favreau has really been hyping fans for future seasons and future shows of The Mandalorian and just its surrounding spin-offs and more, and exactly what that's going to entail. Now, we already know that Favreau and Filoni are working around the clock to make sure that they can really do unthinkable things in the franchise that's really going to make fans very much, surprised and pretty much, caught off guard when it comes to their revelations and their twists and turns. That's really going to change the face of the franchise. So, moving on to what Jon Favreau had to say. Now, we know that Favreau is doing an excellent job hyping the fan base, making them more excited about what's to arrive on Disney+. This April, by the way, next month, we have Star Wars Celebration coming up that's going to include a lot of announcements, but I digress. Now, right now, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to create a series of new spin-offs to existing shows that will expand the entire roadmap of the franchise. However, Jon Favreau recently made a very big announcement and tease for Luke Skywalker and his future within the Mandalorian series. Now, Favreau went on to state the following: "It's been an honor working so closely with Dave and trying to utilize how we can establish some of these characters and just evolve them season by season. The question I get the most is, what is the future of Luke? Well, I felt I could provide some hints on what we are building with that. So something that we are working on is how we can establish the relationship or the friendship between both Mandalorians and Jedi, and how they are able to work together and even train together in some instances. It's something that was used a bit in Legends, and it's something that I am working on to do with Luke Skywalker. Fans have been asking me, will Luke ever use the Darksaber? Will he ever wield it for anything like that? Asking me all these different questions, and all I can really say is hold on to your seatbelts, because I am listening to everybody and all fans, including that cherish this franchise." Now let me just stop here for a second. Now, we know that there is an upcoming Star Wars series called Star Wars Mandalore that's going to basically be the evolution of the Mandalorian series. It's going to primarily focus on Mandalore itself, Bo-Katan, flashbacks to Tar Vizsla's days, who was both a Mandalorian and a Jedi, mind you, and aspects of Luke and Ahsoka. And I think that's exactly what he's alluding to here without actually saying anything. We know that that's a project in the works, behind closed doors. Originally it was considered to be a Bo-Katan series, but now it's expanded into an ensemble cast, where it's going to basically be what I like to call the Avengers of the Star Wars franchise, but not acting like the Avengers, if that makes sense. It's an ensemble cast. So you're going to have a group of major characters group up together and split up into multiple smaller groups going on different adventures simultaneously. Now that moves on to the next piece. Now we know that Favreau absolutely loves to tease the fans, providing them a lot of hints and teases about what's to arrive on the Disney Plus platform and exactly where things are heading after all of this. Alright? Now, Luke Skywalker wielding the Darksaber. We know that some concept art was made for that in Mando Season 4. We already talked about this about a year ago, where basically Luke is teaching djarin on exactly how to use the Darksaber properly. And that's alluding to the fact that there is some kind of new revelation coming our way for djarin. Now, we know that there is some kind of layer there that Jon is keeping secret, And based on some of the concept art and the storyboards that we've been describing for Mando Season 4, one of which is set to actually elaborate that Djarin has some kind of force sensitivity that will be explored in Mando Season 4 that's going to be exposed by Luke Skywalker. Kind of just telling him how to use the Darksaber through using the Force. Basically making Din the modern Tar Vizsla. And that's basically what Jon and Dave are working up to right now. That's what Jon Favreau is doing as we speak behind the scenes. And we're going to be seeing that more in Mando Season 4 during holiday season of 2024 or 2025 in January to February at the latest. So that brings us to the next big thing here, is that he goes on to say, "It is my goal to do the best I can, and to do unthinkable things in this story, and I am building toward a friendship of some kind between Din and Luke, and how that's going to unfold, some secrets and more. It's going to be something truly remarkable, that's for sure, and I surely cannot wait to see how fans react to what we have planned for The Mandalorian Season 4, and beyond all of this. I literally am working every day on how we can do unforeseen things in the brand, and it makes it so much fun." So, this is what I like about Favreau. He really just keeps it basic. He lets fans know that he's working on all these great, fun things for the franchise that's really gonna showcase a lot of Legends material. It's gonna showcase a lot of things that we have never seen before. Who in our right minds would have ever thought that we would see, for example, Luke using a Darksaber, which basically Jon Favreau just teased here, that he's listening to fans that have been asking about that, and that he is telling fans to hold on to their seatbelts about that. So, there's a lot of great things coming out of Favreau. This is a guy, by the way, that listens to the fans. Because this is a guy that actually listened to a small group of fans that were calling for Katie Sackhoff to be the portrayal of Bo-Katan years ago. And he listened, and he cast her as Bo-Katan. He did the same exact thing for Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. That too was a fan cast that he made into a reality. This guy is to be cherished. He listens to the fandom, and I think that episode 1 of Mando was very impressive. It was very fun. It kind of gave you that fun feeling of the prequels in a way. I don't know really how to explain it. Between the space battles and between the adventures on ground, there's just something very special about episode 1. So overall, the fact that they are building toward all of these different avenues for Luke, Djarin, Grogu, and more, there's a lot more to be explored in that sense, on that end of the spectrum, right? So, overall, I think that what fans are facing right now, with 7 episodes left of Mando Season 3, it's just going to only keep getting better and better. Jon himself even stated that he wanted to avoid any kind of filler episodes this time around. He didn't want any kind of stagnant episodes. He wants to keep it very fun, keeping you on the edge of your seat and sucked into the actual story. So overall, guys, fill me in below in the comments what you guys have to say about all of this. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.